Kick us off. I believe it's you, Rona, with the first story of the evening.
It is
Hands Across the Channel.
That's right, Chanel. This is a story in the Express. Macron sensationally calls Boris Johnson a clown, as you previously mentioned, as Britain described as a circus. That's a fair sum up, I would say. So this is about the ongoing battle as relations turned even more mired with France lately, about the appalling migrant crises. Recently, 27 people lost their lives in the perilous journey across the Channel. We've seen record numbers. 25,000 people made that treacherous crossing in 2021, which is...
And 27 who died last week, is that right?
Yep, 27 drowned on the 24th of November. So there's a blaming each other's side going on here with
and
UK
I'm sensing,
France.
Rona, with your Scottish allegiance, that this is the old alliance is kicking in here and you're taking France's part in this one, are you?
Well, I am, but it's not because of my Scottishness. I'm adopted, don't forget, so
Okay.
I'm a mongrel and in-betweeny.
You don't know where you're from?
I don't belong anywhere.
No,
I belong
okay.
to Venus, planet Venus, which is where I'm from.
Okay.
So, but yes, I am taking the French side in this, of course.
Go on.
Boris Johnson did that very oafish thing of, as we know, showing everybody the letter he had
publishing the letter on Twitter.
That was the letter he wrote to Macron, though, right?
Yes.
Not a private letter that Macron
Yes,
had
but
written to him.
it's not really diplomatic. It's not really what you do, but it's a sort of, a rather sort of oafish gesture, I think.
But then the French disinvited Priti Patel as a sort of retaliatory thing, and it does feel a bit like this is like a bunch of infants in the creche squabbling, and I don't like it when politicians do this. Is there not a better way to criticise Johnson's policy than calling him un clown?
Maybe clown has a different meaning in French, though. It may be one of these things that's lost in translation. It might be slightly like a chanson or something. It might be a slight...
Well, I think we all know that Boris Johnson's always been bad with French letters, so...
very good.
I've been waiting a week to say that. I don't really do jokes, but there you go, there's one.
So what do you think, Andrew?
Well, I don't like politicians behaving like this in this way, just throwing insults. I think it degrades it. I think it reminds me of, when Kim Jong-un called Donald Trump old, and then Donald Trump called him fat. Yeah. And I thought this is the kind of thing we left behind at adolescence, isn't it? And I'd rather, and also let's not forget, Johnson is likely to retaliate if he's called a clown. This is the man who wrote that limerick suggesting that Erdogan had sex with a goat. So he's capable of that kind of level if you push him to it. And I just think, look, actually, this is quite serious. People are losing their lives when they're crossing the Channel. Why don't we just deal with the issues,
Yeah, I completely agree. But on this occasion, I would say for Macron to say it is very sad to see a great country with which we could do so much. It's very sad to see a great country which we could do so much, led by a clown.
It's like he's here.
He said we could do so much with, which I think is a bit sinister. Like was he thinking of us as Lebensraum?
No,
I'm not sure I like that.
I think on this occasion that is so accurate. I think the fact that he is, a major leader, I think that is very important that you said that, because we are indeed a circus. Used to be America, but now it's Britain.
Do you think, though, that there's an element of revenge here, an element of retaliation? Because Macron has continually been accused of trying to get revenge ever since we voted Brexit, basically.
They all are, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he wants to, or the implication is that he wants to punish the UK for having the temerity to vote to leave.
Yes.
And, we saw this with France withholding the vaccine deliveries. We've had with the fishing row. I mean, that's been sort of levelled at him, that he's just trying to get back.
Not just withholding vaccine deliveries, but also bad-mouthing AstraZeneca.
Right, and saying it didn't work.
Yeah.
Exactly, based on no evidence. So, I mean, to me...
Yeah, that was very bad.
It's very bad. It's not just about the throwing of insults.
The returns agreement.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
But if you're framing policies on the basis of revenge, then that just seems to me like an extension of the mudslinging.
Can I float a suggestion? I think he's trying to appear to be a little bit more of a machismo kind of president at the moment, just because he knows he's coming up to the elections and he is facing increased and renewed attacks from the right. And there is this kind of prospect always of France slipping into civil war. I know people have been talking about it it's always been on the verge of civil war, certainly since 1968. But there's always that kind of sense that there's something simmering more fundamentally beneath the surface in France.
I feel like with French politics, anything could happen. Like even with Macron coming out of nowhere and winning, that was in itself a surprise. But now with this new guy, Zemmour, escalating through the polls and completely decimating Le Pen. It's like...
And he even looks a bit like Charles Aznavour as well, which I think is going to win him at least 10%.
Artist.
And absolutely, he was an Armenian, of course, whereas Zemmour is an Algerian Jew, which has the same kind of vibe for me.
Well, we can't...
I haven't looked into his politics yet. They may well be distasteful.
It just makes me... Well, I mean, he himself, of course, gave the finger, didn't he, to a journalist the other day.
Yeah.
So he himself is this is the level of politics now. But with
they're feisty.
They're feisty, and it makes me nervous when I can't predict what's going to happen.